Primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already know when outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, U.S. Assassin, doing just what he loves. This is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar. No, I'm not fronting. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is Primetime Poulton. This is Primetime Poulton. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. It's your reigning, defending CGWF World Champion, the Moral Compass, Mark Poulton. And today I am joined by Andy Smith and Dennis Turner to talk a little Kor-Drath. What's up, guys?
How's it going, man? Nice.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for joining me today.
So I heard the way you got that belt was Malin turned around. You picked it up, and we turned back around. You slapped him in the head with it, WWE style.
So here's the story. I went up to Michigan to sign Graveyard Shift books, and the whole time, like, I'm the only one who signs Graveyard Shift books. You have to pay extra if you want John's signature because it takes him longer to sign books. He's parading around the entire time wearing the championship, trying to, upstage me. And I finally had enough of it. And when it was time to go, he says I sucker punched him, but it's a sucker punch in the sense that he was a sucker and I punched him. And then I just took the belt. Right. Took the red eye back to New Jersey as your champ.
That's right. That's what you got to do, man.
People say I stole it. People say, oh, he won this on Dan Fraga's Fragtober contest. Well, it's mine now. I feel like I deserve it.
There you go. He, he doesn't have it anymore. So I don't know if he can claim to be the champ anymore. You know, if he doesn't have the belt, I'm sorry. I don't think it counts. You know, Triple H gives that belt up. He's not running around saying he's former champ, maybe.
I mean, I kind of think he wanted me to take it because, Irene has a belt and she's been wanting to unify them. Well, now John has the excuse, I don't have my belt.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. She brought her belt with so we could see it, and that had some heft to it. I was kind of impressed.
Yeah, no, I work out every day just to carry this thing around.
I hear you.
Everywhere I go to my day job, I'm wearing it while I'm at the gym.
That's right. Well, it makes good for a lifting belt. So
yeah, yep. I just spin it around so the gold's in the back.
Yeah,
we got Genuine Comics in the house. What's up, Nicholas here? Amanda B sharing the links. Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Very kind of you. Hello.
She says hello, Moral Compass, Andy and Dennis.
Hello again.
So before we get into Kor-Drath, I just want to remind people, where is it? My mouse seems to have disappeared. Here it is. Loose Threads. We extended another 30 days. We're currently at $12,399. Andy, I don't know if you heard me tell this story. I wrote this after getting fired from DC Comics twice in the same week.
Twice in the same week?
How does that happen?
I was scripting Savage Hawkman during the New 52. Rob Liefeld was plotting. I was scripting all-star team. Joe Bennett on pencils, Art T. Bear on inks. Yep. And I've always kept my day job while I worked on comics, and I was leaving work one day and I got a Twitter notification, and I looked at it as I'm walking to my car and it said, man, I sure hope Mark has a job after this. I'm like, oh, this can't be good. What? So I'm sitting in my car checking this long thread out, and it was the day Rob Liefeld very publicly quit DC Comics on Twitter. And as I'm going through this thread, I find out online that I no longer have a job, and my editor doesn't get a hold of me until after the fact. And he emails me and says, "Well, I guess you saw what happened online. It was nice working with you."
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I was devastated because we were in the middle of this awesome story arc on Hawkman, and then 2 days later, I get a call back from my editor, and he says, "Hey, I was talking to some people, and we already bought Rob's stories. We loved what you were doing, so we're just going to keep the team together, and we're going to double your pay for the inconvenience." And I was like, "Wow, this is going to turn out better than I thought."
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember this, but Rob and Scott Snyder got into a very public Twitter spat on.
I remember some of it. Yeah.
What sells Batman? Does Scott Snyder's writing sell Batman, or does Batman sell Batman?
Well, I thought he was going to say, or does Greg Capullo's art sell Batman?
Yeah. Rob was in the thinking that Batman sells Batman, and Scott didn't like that, and it was very ugly. And as I'm watching this unfold, I was like, man, this isn't going to end well for me. So I quickly finished writing the script for issue 13 to turn it in so I could get my pay raise. And I was right, because the very next day, my editor called me up and he said, "Mark, how are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing great." And he was like, "Well, I sure hope you're doing great after this conversation."
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the sad thing is about that? It really shows that the editor has no say. Because if he did, he would never have called. He would have been like, "No, I'm keeping him on." But it just really shows that it comes down from the top.
Yep.
You know?
And he said, "Mark, you did nothing wrong. We have to let you go. We're letting you go to get back at Rob, but the official reason is miscommunication." And I was like, Rob isn't going to care that I just got fired. But
right.
Yeah, no, he understood. He knew how it was, but the call wasn't coming from him. It was coming from higher up. They weren't happy with Rob going after Scott Snyder. So again, devastated twice in the matter of days, getting fired from DC. And all I could think of is what's going to happen to Hawkman. Like, we had all these plans for him, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea for a story. What happens to characters when their series are canceled?
Yeah.
And that's where I came up with Loose Threads. Our main character, she's in the middle of her epic battle with her main villain, the Necro Dragon. Yeah. And right as she's about to slay him and fulfill her destiny, everything goes blank. And she finds herself just surrounded by whiteness with a door far off. And she goes to the door, opens it up, and there's other superheroes, barbarians, all just waiting around in a waiting room. It's comic book purgatory. It's where comic book characters go when their series are canceled. So she's not taking her cancellation lying down. She breaks out into the real world and tries to track down her creator to get him to finish her story so she can fulfill her destiny.
Oh, I was thinking you were going to say, try to hunt down the editor that fired the creator so she can kill him. I'm sorry. I'm being dead honest. That's where my mind went. But it went to, she's going to track down that editor.
Yeah, maybe I should rewrite it. But one of the cool things is I have this awesome George Perez jam cover with my interior artist, Cesar Madaro. Cesar surprised me with this. He said he back when George Perez did his last trip to Spain for a convention, Cesar said, "Hey, I got this famous artist to agree to do a cover with me." And I figured his idea of famous wasn't the same as mine. But I was polite and I was like, "Oh, that's really nice, Cesar. I'm looking forward to seeing it." I didn't know who it was going to be, but then he surprised me with this, and it's George Perez, and he's not famous. He's like one of the most famous artists ever. So what an honor to have what could very well be one of George Perez's last covers. I don't know if he had anything in the vaults or what, but yeah, this thing's beautiful. George drew our main character, Queen Madeline, in the crystal ball, and then Cesar drew everything around it. Our main villain, the Necro Dragon, and then Anthony George, colorist of Graveyard Shift, colored it up. Cool. But definitely, guys, if you haven't yet, consider backing Loose Threads. Very near and dear project to my heart.
That's cool.
28 days remain, and we're closing in on that next stretch goal at 15,000.
Nice. That's cool.
So Andy and Dennis, you guys are killing it right now with Kor-Drath. I think you're closing in on $60,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a launch for you guys. And Andy, what this is your second property, right? Since like I don't know, joining Comicsgate, but
yeah, it is. Yeah, because First Man was the first property, and then this one,
what have you learned like since launching First Man to now Kor-Drath that you think has helped with the success of the book?
Oh, that's a really good question. With First Man, I don't really know. You never know why something hits and why something doesn't. A part of me was like, well, it could just be because it's basically straight up superhero. And as much as I do love superheroes and stuff, and First Man is very near and dear to me, let's face it, you can go get superhero stuff from the big two, every month. And that could have been it. So going into the next campaign after First Man Volume 2, I was like, I'm always willing to try something else, So I figured, it's been 2 years working on First Man, when counting 1 and 2, and that's a long time. I mean, the longest I've worked on a monthly book was only like 10 issues, and that's about a year. So working on this, even though it's not the exact, obviously it's nowhere near the same page count. Well, actually though, 64 pages, 64, 60, 60s, 120. So it's, it's like 6 issues worth of work. So it's kind of close. And I just was really ready for a change, and I want to try something else just to see what would happen.
Right.
And I think also my name is more well-known around the community, just from YouTubing on my channel, on Dennis and my channel, and then, making the rounds on everybody else's channel, doing the, the professionals is going on over a year and a half now of, weekly streaming and then streaming with Ethan. So I just think my name is known better as well. So with those things adding up, I think that is really the big difference. It's just getting the name out there. Like I said, I could have tried First Man number 3, but I'm not getting any younger, and I really wanted to try something else just as a litmus test.
Yeah. Genuine Comics wants to know, is First Man now over, or will you return to it?
No, I'd like to return to it because there is a third installment that I wanted to do. And during the second campaign, I was saying, the third one will be kind of like the trilogy that wraps everything up. They're all, First Man 1 and 2 are self-contained stories, but there's still the little plot threads in the background that carry through, and those would have culminated and kind of wrapped everything up in a nice bow. So I'd like to definitely return to it and finish it off. I don't think it's going to be 20 some years like it was this time around from when I first did First Man to the Volume 1 I did on Indiegogo. But, after, with Kor-Drath doing well, I know we have a lot of stories to tell with Kor-Drath, so I can easily say that the next one after this Kor-Drath would be another one. So.
Nice. Past Master Dan says, the belt looks heavy, Mark. Maybe I can hold it for you and secretly make copies and sell on eBay. I think you missed this, Past Master Dan. I work out just so I can carry this around.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Not only that, but I'm sure if you just asked Fragaboom, the company he gets those from probably still has the design. Maybe they could do a little V2 in the bottom corner, and people would know that it's not the real one, but it's a fake.
Or you can get them individually numbered.
Right.
Past Master Dan wants to know, Dennis, how does Dennis like the grind? Is this an inside joke?
No, it's before he answers, it's the fact that this is his first go around doing a campaign. And when I do live streams with people, I always, ask ahead of time, is it cool if I bring Dennis on since he's the co-creator? Everybody, of course, is very, cordial and says, oh yeah, of course. So that's what he means. Yeah. Go ahead, Dennis. How do you like the grind?
It's different. I mean, it is my first go around, first foray into writing like this. So, I've written short stories, I've written stuff. I mean, I've been playing and DMing, which, you know, I used to put in 40 hours a week just in gaming. So, you know, there's a lot of design and everything and storytelling and full blown stories that go into it. But this is a different ball of wax. So, you know, I read 5 books on this before when Andy asked me to, you know, consider writing. And I said, wow, you know, the writing comics is different. I read 5 books, and I'm going to be honest, they were informative, but I went through my first version of the script, and we had a buddy, a writer, edit it, go through it, and he's like, yep, you got enough for a trilogy in here. So he goes, you know what? Kind of got to redo it. But I learned more in a 3-hour conversation than I did after reading 5 books. And that is the difference between people in the industry and stuff. So it's a steep learning curve, but now I'm up to it. I'm up to the task. It's been enjoyable as hell. Everybody is so supportive in the CG community. And, you know, I think we got a really absolutely fantastic story that's ready to be told, and you can already tell the artwork that you've seen some of Andy's art that's already been put out, and Dan Lawless cover, Bud, you know, his cover and stuff. It's all coming together incredible.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of this fantastic art. Should I play the video?
Sure. Courtesy of Jeremy Reyes. So
good old Jimmy,
yeah. That's what I said. All right, let's see if I can do my movie voice for this. I did it on Aaron's trailer last night, and they were like, why don't you do that for yours? They slaughtered his tribe. Kor-Drath will bring the pain. Blood will run. "64 pages of action. Non-stop action. Violence. Blood. Ladies." Created by Andy Smith and Dennis Turner. There you go.
You're getting real good at that, Andy.
Thank you. I try. Back us on Indy. That's Jimmy's wife. That's so cute. I just love it.
I feel like I was there the night Ethan made you narrate the First Man trailer.
You might have been, yeah. Well, like I said, I did it to, I don't know why. We were going through the campaigns last night and Aaron's was up and I just felt like narrating. So I did. And they're like, oh, you need to do that with yours. So
I may hire you to narrate my next one. So this artwork's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So there's a bunch of great covers for this. There's your cover.
Mine's the first one, colored by Mr. Dan Lawless, like Dennis said. The second one is colored by Nanjan Jambiri. He's a colorist from India that I've worked with before.
You have a black and white edition.
Black, white, and blood.
Oh,
it's very important.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm paying for that one color on the cover. So, you know.
And then a Bud Root cover. How did this come about?
Well, you know, I've known Bud for 17 years now. So he lives in town pretty close by. And he was really just top of mind for one of the female characters. I let him pick which one, and he picked Lilith here. And, you know, just asked him to do it. And he hit a home run with it. And then I always had the intent of seeing if Dan would color it. And I think before Dan even saw it, he was like, oh, hell yeah. So that was that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then like a retro Kirby-inspired cover.
You know, once again, Aaron did one. I had 2 ideas for retro covers for First Man, and I didn't do them because, I don't know, I was just like, is anybody really into those, you know? And a part of me was also like, you know, the younger generation, will they even know what covers they were? But then Aaron does one for each Wraith of God campaign, and I'm like, that's it. I got to do one. So, yeah.
And what better than Conan #1?
Exactly.
Plus, I think we're all like in our 40s over here, Andy.
Oh, yeah. No, I know we would recognize them.
Yeah.
And appreciate them. But, you know, if somebody's scrolling through it that might be in their 20s or something, they might be like, that's badass. I've never seen that before. That's cool as hell, which is a nice compliment. But it's like,
see, and Nicholas said the retro cover's his favorite. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, they love retro covers. And, you know, I think it turned out absolutely incredible.
Thank you. Oh, Dennis, I pay you well to say that. So
we have some of the main characters, Kor-Drath, Adriana.
Yep, Adriana.
The Necra Knight.
And his
Lilith.
His little girl partner, Lilith. Not a partner in that way, though.
Vordoom.
And in Vordoom the Undying.
I love these names.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we came up with Kor-Drath and Adriana together. And then the other ones Dennis came up with. So
Splackdeath says he doesn't even remember what he backed. It'll be a surprise when it comes to it.
What do you mean? You backed the everything tier, so obviously.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what you should do then, if you don't remember, you should go back something else.
Yeah,
get yourself a T-shirt.
Yeah, just
you probably
safe that you got it.
You probably got a book, so now go get a T-shirt. That's all.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
No, I really like this. You have the cast of characters here with a little description. Takes you inside the story.
Yeah, I just think that's important for a new property to try and explain, you know, as much as you can without giving anything away, obviously. You know, you don't want to give away key story points or anything. But besides just a little story synopsis, which obviously there is at the top, you know, you still need to know about the characters to an extent. So
now I'm curious, like this is something I was over on RT Bear's channel last week. He asked me if I was competitive, if I'm following other creators. Is this something like that you saw another creator do and we're like, oh, I want to emulate that, or was that just something?
Nope.
No, because I've done that. I'm pretty sure I did it on the first man campaign. I know for a fact I did it on the second one. In fact, I'm positive I did it on the first one, because when I was putting together the second first man campaign, I looked back at the first one just as a refresher to go, okay, how'd I do the characters and stuff? So no, that wasn't. I mean, there are certain things I did look at and go, oh, that's a good idea. But the characters and
this
what's
really
that?
started on our way to a convention.
Yeah, the retro cover.
Yeah, this was complete. Convention. We were driving. It was a several-hour drive, and we started talking. And he asked me to, if I'd write, and I said, depends on, what is it you want to write. And the more we talked about, we threw out some ideas, and then I finally said, what do you want to kind of draw? And Andy, I love drawing big, strong, well-defined men. I love drawing hot, sexy women. And I said, we started talking. I'm like, look at the guys that are constantly, like Richie. Richie's on our channel, and a bunch of the guys are on there. They're always talking to us and asking about D&D type stuff, role-playing type stuff. And then they start talking Sword and Board, Conan, He-Man type stuff. We're always in these conversations. I'm like, this might be a hell of a genre. And then when we narrowed down what Andy wanted to kind of draw, I'm like, well, obviously human. We can set it inside of a world and focus in on something. So Barbarians made the perfect choice for what we kind of wanted to do, because I said, I can write a story on any race, character, whatever.
Yeah, and and it's funny, Bud Root actually came up with this when we were driving to South Carolina. He put together, because you always want to, well, I think it's easy to tell somebody a quick elevator pitch in a way if you start off by going, it's kind of like X and Y, two known things. So he was like, so we were telling him a lot about the story since he did the cover and stuff. And he was like, oh my God, it's like Conan and Game of Thrones. And we were like, yes, that's a great description. It's like dropping Conan into Game of Thrones. So
it is, because he's like, you got so much interesting magic that works completely differently than it would in a typical sword and board type of a universe. And he goes, it's kind of like Game of Thrones. You got all this interesting stuff, and if you kind of meld the two, and he kind of is right. That would be an interesting way to put it. A lot more focus in on the barbarian tribes. There's 11 barbarian tribes in this little particular part of the realm that they're at. But yeah, that's how it came about.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's something that caught my eye: a oversized 8.3 by 11.7 hardcover. This looks incredible.
I could have, most people probably would have just rounded up.
Mm-hmm.
Like 8.5 by 11 by 12 or something.
9 by 12, yeah.
I just can't. It's really hard for me to round up because that's not the size, and I'd be petrified that when somebody got it,
one person who would say it's not 9 by 12.
I measured it. It's 8.3 by 11.7, and so I was like, I'm just going to put the real size down because that obviously I got print quotes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's basically an artist edition, for lack of a better term. You can't use that because IDW does own artist edition, but that's what it is. I'll scan in. Well, as I move along, I scan in all the artwork in full color, so you can see all the gradations in ink and the pencil smudges and whatever. So it's like an artist edition. So it's like you're holding the original in your hand. So it's going to be the whole story, character sketches, Bud's cover is going to be in there. The retro cover is going to be in there. So it's going to be packed. That's right. Honest ain't. It's my OCD. I just have a hard time, and I'm not even one of those guys. Like if the book came, if I was the recipient, I wouldn't even think like, well, this doesn't look 9 by 12.
Right.
Let me get a ruler out. I'm not even one of those, but my mind literally goes, everyone's like that. So I'm like, all right, I'll say 8.3.
And
the big thing with that one is it's 65 now in the campaign, but as soon as the campaign's over, it's going to be $80. So everybody's getting a discount by getting it during the campaign.
Yeah, no, $65 is a great deal for a hardcover art book like that. So I remember the parody ads from First Man. Is this just it's something you enjoy doing, so it's always going to be in your books?
Yeah, I mean, the very first book I did before I joined the CG community was a flip book called Jungle Lords Ultra, and it had one story on one side, half the book, and you flipped it for the other one, and the other story was a little shorter than the other story was. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do a parody ad. That'll add like another page to it. And that was the first time I did it. And then in First Man, I continued the tradition, and I was like, well, no going back now. And, I don't want to because I love doing these ads. So.
No, as a reader, I love them too. I find them fun.
And they are, if somebody takes the time when they go to the page, I'm pretty sure it's big enough to where you could actually read it. It has a nice little joke in there. So.
And then here's the T-shirt Splat Guts is going to go order after what he backed.
That's right. Nice metal looking T-shirt.
Oh, the Bud Root original art is available. Has that?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it sold in 30 minutes.
And that was another thing. I was like, should I take it down? Should I leave it up? And I was actually asking Aaron about that because he puts his covers up for sale, and he's like, no, just leave them up. Okay. So
people need to see what they missed. This is why you got to get on right away. And I know there were other people that wanted it. So whoever wound up getting it, kudos on you. 30 minutes. And I know there were some other sad people out there.
Yeah. No, leave it up on Kor-Drath 2. They'll act a little quicker to make sure they get the original art they want.
That's true.
All right. Let's go through some of these tiers. I know Andy is pressed for time. He's got the professionals coming up. So your featured tier, get it all. 100.
So that basically, the only thing not in that tier is the retro cover, because I did that after.
Okay.
But the retro cover is an add-on. So that, how it is. The add-on has shipping that is really dirt cheap.
Yep.
So even if you get it all tier, which is all the covers, it even has Bud Root's black and white cover, which was a 24-hour only when the campaign started. And then obviously it has the nice oversized hardcover book. And like I said, if you get that and add on the retro cover, you're still saving money compared to, everything separately. So
nice. And then just the cover A, $25.
Yep. All the individual covers. Cover B is a wraparound with no logos or anything. Nice virgin cover, and that they're all 25. So,
do the books come signed?
Oh yeah, I sign all the books, and I should say, and Dennis will too. So he needs to. I keep telling him he needs to start working on a signature and not that garbage he uses for a check.
Yeah, I got time. I would have made a great doctor because I have a terrible signature, and Andy already said that will not cut it.
You just got to do a big DT.
Yeah, no. Before John and I started signing Graveyard Shift books, John said, "Mark, you're gonna have to cut down your signature. Maybe just do like a stylized P." So that's what I did. Meanwhile, I'm banging out books. I look over at John, and he's taking his time, his nice John Malin. Now he doesn't sign books anymore because it takes too long.
Really?
Yeah.
See, the signature I have, I've had pretty much since I got into comics. I was doing something a little artsy, I guess you could say, because my first monthly book was Quasar, and Greg Capullo signed his name in a square box. He just did his initials, GC. So I tried something like that, but I just was like, no, I'll go back, because when I first started working, it was for DC, and I'd sign stuff at DC the way I sign stuff now.
Yeah.
So, but it's Joe Kubert always said, when you sign stuff, make it so people can read it, so they know who did it. So
all the covers, $25.
And they're all add-ons, so you can really pick and choose if you want more than one. Pick one and then add on whichever other one you want. So
the Kor-Drath t-shirt, $30.
Yep. And then the extra, the bigger sizes are $35. And the bigger sizes like Kor-Drath would wear for $35.
And I want the backers to know that the add-ons, I know people complain when there aren't add-ons. Just know that creates extra work for Andy, and Dennis, because every order then becomes specialized with. So he's willing to put in the time for you guys.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it really is, because, like you said, you'll get some people that it's literally probably just the one, main cover, and that's it. And those are easy to get out. But the other ones, when it's like they want X, Y, and Z, that's okay, because it's all about the fans and to customize it so they get what they want. And, as long as they're happy, I'm happy. So.
Yeah, no, I've started putting most of my back catalog as add-ons on my campaigns. And it takes a lot more time, but I actually enjoy fulfilling it. And I don't know, the backers are making everything possible, making us able to grow our businesses. So,
right.
Yeah.
It
adds such a unique flavor to whatever your campaign is. If it's cards or stickers or bookmarks or shot glasses or beanies or shirts or whatever, these are just awesome things that it's not just, I read it, I put it away now. There's always something else you got. And more of the customers, that's what they want. They want some of that extra great stuff.
Yeah. And, you're right. I put, First Man Volume 1 and 2 are as add-ons, and so are the variant covers that Bart did for each book. And for Volume 2, the Bart ones are sold out because, I only have a limited stock of that stuff. So, and I want to keep at least 4 or 5 for myself. So, there's different quantities of each book up there.
Yeah.
So,
black and white edition, $65.
$80 when the campaign's over.
Yeah.
So jump on it now.
And then the Barbarian bundle.
And that's just the covers.
Okay.
So once again, that the retro cover was put up after, so you can add it on. You're still saving money. But the cool thing is you get the Bud Root black and white cover as well in this one.
Nice.
So.
And then retailer pack, 5 copies of the Bud Root cover and cover A.
Yep.
How have you done retailer packs in your other campaigns?
No, I did it for this one.
Yeah.
I'm an open book in regards to my my, as past Master Dan said, Honest Andy Smith. The guy reached out to me and said, "Are you doing one?" And I said, "Well, I haven't given it much thought." And he was like, "Well, I kind of hope you do." So I was like, "Okay." Yeah. So Dennis is like, "Who do you think backed that?" And I said, "I think I have a pretty good idea." So
yeah,
I haven't checked. I could be 100% wrong. I have not literally checked to see.
We've got a lot of friends that are retailers. You know, we have 7 major comic shops within our area here. So I was like, yeah, it's probably not a bad thing. I mean, they're not going to get rich doing it, but you know, it's a nice thing if they want to pick it up, they want to do some signings or whatever. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. And they come signed too. So. Unless the guy tells me not to, I might have to reach out to that guy and make sure he wants them signed. But
figure sketch commission, $225. Is this backer's choice or is it a?
Sure is. Backer sends me when it's time to do those. I'll send out an email to those backers asking for 3 characters, and then I pick one out of the 3 so they get what they want. But it's still a surprise.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Become a character. $400,
and you get 4 copies of the book. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. That one, I've done it on every campaign. I usually, get a few of them in there. So that's cool. And yeah, it's just something fun to show your friends and family. Hey, Ma, I was in a book.
And then the rest of the tiers are sold out. The head sketch commission, the Bud Root cover art went in 30 minutes. So guys, if you see something you like in these original art ones, act quickly because they don't last long.
Yeah, there's only 4 left of the figure sketch, and I'll be honest, I'm not last campaign I put more up. This one I probably won't because it is a lot at the end of the campaign when you need to worry about fulfillment to sit there and go, all right, now I've got to draw 10 figure sketches and 10 head sketches. And they're not they say sketches, but they're really not. Like, I think sketch and I think marker and stuff like that. They're finished. I ink them like I ink the pages with brush and quill and whatever. So, and they're on a nice Bristol board and fit right inside a comic bag. So,
we hit our first stretch goal already. We're almost at our second stretch goal.
That's right.
Then tomorrow we'll be doing our 30-day closeout, and I know we'll be showing the 3rd stretch goal.
That's right. And maybe some more stuff.
Ooh,
it could be. You have to tune in tomorrow around 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So
well, you guys are just killing it. Is there anything else you'd like the viewers to know?
Well, I think with the stretch goals, even though we've repeated it, and the cool thing about these character cards are, besides the pretty artwork on the front, it's not just stats on the back that you read and go, oh, that's cool. These are playable. So if you do role-playing games, these are 5th edition SRD compatible. So you can play these characters in Dungeons and Dragons or whatever game. So they're actual playable characters. And that was all Dennis's idea. So I thought that was just, I thought that was just a fantastic idea because I like doing the 7x10 mini prints.
Mm-hmm.
And generally most of the time it's just on one side. But on this one, I said, because in the books, if you got the first 2 First Mans in the back of the book, I did a Marvel Universe type page for each of the characters where it had a cool shot of the character and then the text about, their height and all that stuff, just like the Marvel Universe. And I thought about, there's no room in the book to do that. This book is literally all story. Mm-hmm. So, except for the parody ad. So I thought, well, we can just do the stats on the back of these. And Dennis was like, I can up that. And I was like, what do you mean? And he suggested this. And I was like, oh, yes. So
yeah, a bunch of people have already that game already looked over the stats and like, wow, these are really kick ass.
Yeah.
Like, yep. You can drop them in your campaign. I had somebody was teasing me on Twitter yesterday, really 5th edition. And I'm like, look, I can't make them for every edition. I mean, I played them all, but I said, if you want to do it for Pathfinder, it's easy, a little conversion, it'll go over. You guys can all do that. But this is going to be compatible for a lot of the basic ones that are out there, and away you go. And yep.
So on my channel a couple of days ago, we were talking how Comicsgate's evolving. We're getting not just comics anymore, but action figures, statues, video games. Is a game, a Kor-Drath game, something you guys have thought about?
Stay tuned in the very near future.
That's awesome.
Yep, we can't talk a whole lot about it now, but there will be some announcements on some stuff coming out that your gaming people will be quite interested to hear about.
That's very cool. Richie Dupe, I just want to get this in. He gets in a bother for signing paperwork. Big dick. Here you go, Richie. All right, guys.
I do too, but that's just because people are like, stop lying when you sign stuff. And I'm like, excuse me.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Guys, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm easy. Andy Smith Art, Twitter, Andy Smith Art, Facebook, Andy Smith Art, Instagram, AndySmithArt.com. So nice and
I saw you on your YouTube channel earlier. I think last week working out.
That was like 2 weeks. Yeah. And Andy Smith Art, comic artist on YouTube is the full name because Andy Smith by itself was taken. But yes, you can go to my YouTube channel and for workout tips as well.
Isn't that?
I don't know how useful they'll be.
Well, Denise Austin, I'm actually set up and I put in a private chat the Dennis and Andy show, so I put the link so if one of your wrenches can pop that in. That's where we do all of our archives, where we do our movie reviews, TV, comic book reviews, not to mention all the interviews. When we have our guests on, we archive everything going all the way back to the beginning. I got them set up in playlists. So the Dennis and Andy show, and then on Twitter, you can see my name. I'm at Dinges Comics. And then you can find me in Facebook right at Dennis Turner. You'll find me. And if not, click on Andy. You'll see us.
That's right. And Rumble. I'm now on Rumble as well. Andy Smith Art. So.
Oh, nice. Dennis, I just shared the link.
Yep.
I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Kor-Drath looks awesome.
Thanks, dude.
Especially that art book. I think I'm going to back that as soon as we end the live stream. But yeah,
Thanks, Mark.
Congratulations for all the success. The book's killing it.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate you taking the time too.
Yeah, no problem. And guys, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton. Hit the notifications. I'll be on Breaking Rad a little later tonight. We're going to premiere season 3, a teaser of the CGWF. We had to upgrade the system to WWE 2K22, so everyone's going to look a little different now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. So tune in tonight. We're going to debut it. And everyone in the chat, Amanda B, thanks for sharing the links. Leandro, thanks for stopping by. Yes, check out the champ belt slump over the shoulder for the man he is. Hail to the Fulfillment King. Thank you, Leandro. All right, guys, we're good. Take off. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Mark.